It's the KC Show, coming at you live inside Affordable Title Loan Studio in downtown Union. It's your life, your town, your show. With your host, Kyle, a.k.a. KC Keen.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday afternoon. I know one person who isn't, and he's not here. Let's see if we can. I can't remember which. Show my special guest too soon, but there he is. Let's just stare at the chair there as he took his time. He was in the parking lot for like 15 minutes. He was like, "Well, I'm gonna do this fashionably late thing," and there he is sitting down. Like it's no big deal. We're docking your pay again. You're just never going to make any money doing this. You're just never going to make it.
Oh.
So, guys, what's up, everybody? Let me bring my chat up. All right. Brandon, what's up, Patricia? How's everybody doing this afternoon? Hope everybody's good. Let me make sure the stream is doing good. I'm going to mute Mike while he gets his microphone situated and everything. Looking good on my end here. All right. Man, I tell you what, Charter's been giving me panic attacks. I mean, I was at the point of, I'm like, we're going to have to move locations. Simple fact of not having usable internet. I'm like, that's the stupidest reason to move out of a location, you know, because I love my location here.
Did they get you resolved?
Yeah, I think I tell you what, bad things happen sometimes for a good reason. You know, we've had internet issues from the start, but where that tree fell, I think it actually fixed the situation, because now our internet is more stronger than what it was, and it when it's up, it's good. You know,
What tree fell?
Remember when all the power got knocked out?
Oh,
yeah, and not all the power out and everything. And good, Brandon, good. But yeah, I mean it's so far so good. Hopefully everything will run smooth tonight. But we're gonna move on from that because we got a lot to talk about tonight. We're gonna do something real quick. I just want to address this stuff right here, guys. I'm seeing all these videos, and I know a lot of them are fake because people seem to have nothing better to do than to try to go viral with these videos. And man, these people are showing people fighting in Dollar Generals, showing people charging the Costco for toilet paper. There is no shortage in toilet paper. That is in Venezuela. And the reason that it's in Venezuela is because they are in a socialism. And I mean, they have no trade whatsoever. They have a dying market. And that is the reason why they are in the situation that they're in. It has nothing to do with the coronavirus. That was going on way before the coronavirus come along, guys. Way below. I mean, they're eating their own pets because they have no food. Are we going to start like going to the pound and getting all the dogs? Well, looks like we're about to run out of food.
We're going to adopt a baby today.
Come on, whiskey. I mean, come on, guys. It's crazy. So I just wanted to address those two situations. There is no shortage in timber. There's no shortage in paper. If before they let a shortage of toilet paper happen, paper would probably be a shortage first.
I mean, really, okay. You're out of toilet paper,
You
so
need-
you use some now.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, but
using this rag that I can rewash over and over, that's impossible.
or I mean, hey, there's a perfectly fine tub.
Oh, but it was just crazy. I just wanted to let people there, guys. I don't know where that come from. And the stock market rebound, third highest, rate of, I think they said, of all time. So, guys, you really got to take things.
It's just fluctuating off the panic.
The media has a job to do, and that's to get you to tune in. And the way they do that Sometimes
chaos.
they got to be a little bit dramatic.
Chaos.
You know, Alex Jones, he's arrested for DWI. I'm not going to talk about him tonight, but he was arrested for DWI. He looks like he's going through some issues, but that's another show, another night. But sometimes he gets dramatic. He gets mad, like sometimes I get mad. Now,
He goes a little bit extreme.
he gets a little, I think he does a little
See him
acting.
take his clothes off at home.
Yeah, he'll be running around the studio.
I think that was he must have just recently started working out, and he was trying to show off his body. That's what it was.
He used to be ripped up pretty good back in the day. I mean, he was never like a true bodybuilder, but he
Right.
looked good. But now, age is always gonna catch you. But I just oh God, don't tell me that, Ray. Jesus. He just said, whose power just flashed off? No, we're not having it. We're not having it tonight. If I got to pull out cell phones, it ain't happening. So I just wanted to talk about that. Let me check off toilet paper shortage. I literally had to write that down because it was so insignificant that I had to write it down just to remember it. And I'll come back to this one real quick. Hopefully y'all still be able to hear me when I click this. But I just want to send a shout out here to Miss Kylie Gregory. Congratulations to her. I just copied what was on Miss Jones' page. It's her granddaughter. She won the Miss Union 2020. And I want to hit the cheer, but I am so terrified. One of them's a laugh, one of them's a cheer.
Wait. Let me pick one and see if I'm right.
I think it's this one.
I'm going to go green.
No, I know it ain't that one.
Well, that's what I'm going to pick, though.
Oh, there we go.
I got it right.
I got it. No, the green's right here.
Nope.
I can do the camera.
They can't see it.
Congratulations to her. Sorry about the video there. But tremendous news from there. We need some positivity, and Kylie Gregory single-handedly went out there and brought us some. So that's awesome, man. Congratulations to her.
Congrats.
I know they are extremely proud of her, and she is a very beautiful young lady with a great future ahead of her. So congratulations to her. And two more things. This now we're going to come back sad. We're going to come back sad. Let me put me on the camera. All right. So I got an announcement to make. I was forced to make this announcement, by the way. I do have a policeman in here, so help me. There is an announcement. We are me and Patty have decided we are going to be getting married. We're gonna no. Where's the there it is. That's the one. But we are going to get married. It's going to be either June the 12th or the 13th. Scheduling.
Okay.
We would prefer to do it on the 13th because it's on a Saturday, but could very possibly be on the 12th when it's a Friday.
And Mike is going to stream the entire event on the KC show.
You already know Jerry's going to be having like 12 cameras. So just a little announcement. She forced me to make it. I am so depressed.
She forcing you to marry her as well?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I will save you, Kyle.
She said that if I do not marry her, she would actually start cooking every day.
Oh man,
so
that's tough.
I couldn't do it. I was like, nope,
tough.
no more soup, nope, no more diarrhea. Can't do it. I give in. So thank y'all for the congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
Tell her she better not mess it up.
Yeah, she steps into the family. You gotta be on your toes in the Brandon family. So thank you everybody. We'll
yeah, she's got to get
everyone's invited. If you want to come, I promise you, I'll let you know when, I'll let you know where, and I'll let you know what time. I would love to have nothing, but that's one thing a lot of people don't do no more. They don't get together. Mm-hmm. People need to get together.
You just can't come to the reception. Eat all the food.
You can come to reception. I'll give you my plate. I'll give you Mike's plate. Let's see how he looks on that one.
Tell her Patty's gonna have to be able to step her game up now, because when we dish it out, she ain't quick enough with the comeback.
Oh, that'll never.
She got to speed it up.
Dude, I did not say that she was getting a brain transplant. I said she's getting married. Come on,
there
now.
Goes that.
You
way.
Just. But thank y'all. Yeah, she's. we've been together for 10 years, been engaged for like 9.5 of those. No, I'm just kidding. But it's been a long time coming. We've been together for a long time. Sometimes people move too quick. Maybe we move too slow, but we're together. The marriage didn't, it is what it is. That's it, man. So, and Mr. Jerry will be doing the wedding. So,
and what is that he will be doing?
He'll be doing the wedding.
What's that?
Pastoring.
Okay.
Whatever.
I seen
Officiating. Officiating. Got it. So Mike's off the show. So guys, we're going to bring on our special guest and
Stump the chump.
Yes. Let me split screen this thing. This is getting on my nerves. Oh man. Oh, I just drugged the whole cam off the screen. Don't know how I did that. Enjoy that. But
while Kyle is talking to himself.
Yes. People will be seeing it here very soon. So thank you everybody for all that. I wanted to bring the chat up on my side. I couldn't see that and the screen, but
yes, real quick while you get it set up.
Sure.
Everybody just kind of watch out. Ball practice is starting now, so there's gonna be a lot of kids out running around on baseball fields.
I was gonna say how many people were driving on the baseball fields?
Well,
boo! Hey, you think you the man? Whatever. You don't step here, boy.
Like in Monarch, right there at Dead Man's Curve.
Yeah,
man, that's terrible location.
And they fly because I'm one of them.
And the cars have nowhere to park. For one, I
don't know.
It wouldn't take much, that empty field right there, to make it a little parking lot or something. But y'all just kind of watch out. Yeah, with
very
ball
true.
Practice starting.
Very true, because I don't know. It's my inner. And I don't like him, rest in peace, but it's my inner Earnhardt, when you see that curve coming, you're like, I'm gonna hit it about 90.
I thought you was about to say inner child, and you was like, I don't like him.
No, not child. but no, it's, everybody be careful, be safe, enjoy it, get ready for the pollen that was covered this morning on my truck. I was so pissed. I'm like 2 days from the worst time of the year for me, the time change. Yep. Now there's pollen all over my windshield. It sucks. I'm moving.
The tissue is coming back.
Yes, sir. So, thank y'all. I see everybody still saying congratulations to Patty. Let's move on.
Yes, that's enough.
That's enough of that crap. But thank y'all for that. And real quick, before we bring him on, I'm going to play this right here. I'm going to pop this up. I had it on the screen today. It shows that Mr. Carl Jennings, I'll bring him up here on the screen, and Mr. Carl Jennings has officially announced his candidacy for sheriff. We are happy to have him on. We appreciate him being quick to the gun for it, because that is what you got to do. You got to get in there. You got to get your feet wet, because you already got a candidate who a little early, into the game, about a month or so, kind of got his signs already out there. You got to get in there before people go ahead, because I'm telling you, what disturbs me the most is that I see a lot of people who are like, I already know who I'm voting for. I'm like, dude, you don't even know who's running yet. We don't know who's running yet, and you've already decided who you're voting for. Come on now, that's a closed-minded person. That is a closed-minded person. We got to keep it open. Listen to what they got to say, because we will have a public debate coming. And let me tell you something. Debates are huge. You can win or lose the election, based on the debate alone. So we're going to bring him on. We're going to let him talk. And a lot of people saying that we're going to get Mr. Sherfield on soon. We're going to get any other candidate that comes on. But Mr. Jennings got here, and 2 Transformers blew up in Petersburg, Buffalo. Woosah, man, because it doesn't matter where it's at. It could have happened in Spartanburg. It will affect my power and my internet here shortly. So we're going to get Mr. Carl on here. Let him go ahead and introduce himself.
Yes, thank you for coming.
When you talk, just get as close to that microphone as you can, man. Thank you for letting us be the ones to announce it. And I tell you the truth, man, all the candidates so far have given us the ability to kind of be the first ones, and that shows respect, and I appreciate that so much, especially coming from policemen, because you can't get too much of a high respect from them. So, Carl, thank you for being here, brother.
Yes, thank you.
How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
So, when I walked out there, when you pulled up, did you feel intimidated at all by that truck that was beside you? At all? Did you?
I'm a Ford man.
You're a Ford.
I'm a Ford man.
I love Ford. Ford saved my life, but I tell you what, Chevrolet's moving up their game.
He's always had a Ford.
Always.
And he's
Always.
just switched up. I don't know what's going on. He's getting married, switching trucks.
He's changing all the venues.
Yeah, something's going on.
Depression hits that midlife crisis, and
we need to do that Stranger Things test. Make sure you ain't been.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Taken over.
So Carl brought us some shirts, and I'll pull them up here on the screen here in just a minute. Again, I appreciate you being here because we want to hear from our candidates as soon as possible in the most public forum as possible. And for Union, this really is kind of it. This is where people are be able to chime in without having to always come to a place or get within a mile of a radio station and pick up signal, stuff like that. So I appreciate you giving us this opportunity. And if you want to say what give us kind of a little bit who you are, how long you've been in police force, kind of give us your background. Go ahead, it's
right.
yours.
Well, first of all, I want to publicly thank Tom McAbee for reaching out to me and congratulating me. I know it takes a sense of maturity in this level, and I extend the same to him.
That's awesome.
But I just want to say that my name is Carl H. Jennings Jr. I'm originally born and raised in Union, South Carolina, military veteran, have 13 years in law enforcement, worked in Gaffney, and came here in 2014 back home where Jimmy Kimmerell was the chief in Jonesville that hired me. Shortly after that, he went out on leave. In 2015, I was appointed to chief and been chief for 6 years over there in Jonesville.
Awesome, man. Right. So plenty of experience, which is detrimental when a lot of people talk about sheriff, and the first thing that comes out, what kind of experience this guy got. For hopefully for most people, that's the first thing you want to know. You gave us the shirt, and like I said, I'm gonna get to that in just a second. But I want to bring this up too. I seen somebody who posted earlier. Not going to say names. I try to comment on most things that I can, but it's so much. And one thing that you kind of brought up in your statement, which I put up on the screen just a minute ago, you talked about party affiliation, and that is one thing I believe that every single candidate has in common right now is that they're all like, well, yeah, this is probably going to be the party I go with, or this is the party I'm going with, but at the same time, that doesn't really reflect necessarily who I am. And
a politician.
You're right.
Exactly.
You're not
a politician.
Exactly.
I'm a lawman.
That's right. So, and that's what I wanted to talk about just for a split second. Talk about party affiliation with sheriff. It's kind of a nonsense thing because one person was like, well, we don't really have much to vote for in the Democratic Party. But then I mentioned that you had come, and I said, well, there's two now. I said, but let me make this clear. Their party affiliation really doesn't reflect on them. I said, not to throw shots here, but our current sheriff is a Democrat. And look at the conduct, so that doesn't mean that, well, now all the Democrats are going to be. It's not like that.
Correct.
So I wanted to get that out of the way, and just also wanted to get your take on things, and if there's something that you want to talk about before maybe we get to some questions, I'm sure people are going to have them. I want to definitely give you the floor, and maybe you can kind of tell us what you've seen, and maybe if you want to give your opinion on right now what the town's going through. And I would love to hear your comments on the Frank Hart. The Frank Hart Police Station, that's what they're going to name it, by the way. If y'all didn't know it, it's going to be Frank Hart Police Station. But, kind of get your take
FH.
on and your take on what you're going to do to make sure that this is not replicated.
Okay. What I see in the sheriff office, if elected, I just want to make sure it's professionalism. I want to see the deputies out in the public, not just in town, but local business owners and business owners outside the town limits. I want to see them shaking hands. I want the citizens to know who works for them. Right. And it's just professionalism. And I want to sit down with every officer and make sure that this is a career they want and see where they want to go in this career. And pretty much a brand. a brand. I have a late friend, actually his birthday today, Kevin McCarley. And we had a talk one time and he was talking about cars. And I was like, he was building a Mustang. And I was like, Kevin, man, you building this Mustang. He said, if you want anything, you have to build it. And that's what I took. I took that analogy and I build a brand. Like in Jonesville, we had problems, with people talking about Jonesville and everything. Right. And when I came, I started hiring select people, to fit the mold of being professional and learning the law, knowing the law, being able, know the law and apply it how it's supposed to be. And we have done good. Our call volume dropped drastically over the years, and that's what I want to bring to the sheriff's office. Yeah. A sense of professionalism, a sense of, accountability for the officers. And it's just, it needs to be changed. The whole 360 needs to be changed. Right. Because for 27 years, starting from 1993 up until now, current to date, there has been some form of corruption and scandal in the sheriff's office. Yeah.
And then some, and then, it goes beyond, just that, it spreads to, we had
other offices.
Yeah. Some in Melanie's office, some in the supervisor's office, and heck,
seems like the norm.
The magistrate's office, we had that, so when people are working in these departments and sometimes they may see some corruption happening in other departments, they kind of go, well, look at her. She didn't get in trouble. She stole, $20,000 and, just got fired. She got 20,000.
But that's the thing, it's time. I'm tired of seeing union being treated the butt of other jokes.
That's it.
It's just time for a change.
Yeah.
When you go out and some people might be afraid to say where you're from, and you say union, this where,
every time.
Yeah. And that's just, it's unacceptable. The citizens are there, they deserve better.
That's it. Mike, you got a question for him? Let me ask you this one before we do that. What do you think about that, the police station that Frank Hart's trying to introduce?
Well, that is something they trying to take control over. I think it's because of the current situation with the sheriff that, they wanted him to resign, but he didn't want to resign. Yeah. So if they, actually get control over the police, they will be able to hire and fire who they want. Yeah. And they have the say so. If you don't do this right, then we can get rid of you.
You know what? For some reason, hearing you just say that, I did not think about that part of it. Think about this. They can hire and fire who they want. So if there's a sheriff who's got a deputy who he trusts, and there's no kind of corruption or anything, let's just say this sheriff and this deputy is like the only two gunmen that are straight and narrow, and you got a council that might be, they could get rid of that deputy. I don't know why I've never thought about it. I don't know why I never thought about it like that. I always just thought about it of, the sheriff.
They'll have power,
the power that they don't deserve, in my opinion. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Right. And basically making yourself a CEO of the Department of Sheriff Office.
Right.
It's basically, that's got to be the ultimate goal. You can hire and fire who you want to. If it's not complying with what you want to do, get out of here, Yeah.
That's it. And it's like I say, to answer to 6 more people or 7 more people as a deputy, you already have an immediate supervisor, then you might have a supervisor above him. Then you got the sheriff, and now let's add 7 more. Man, I couldn't think of a bigger nightmare. I really couldn't.
Police officers already have enough on their plate with having to pretty much watch their 6 everywhere they go nowadays because of the way the world is. So
that is true. That is true. But also, if you like I said, if you build a brand. If you have professional officers that's out there in the community, it makes it better for those officers.
Right.
The work is actually even better for them. Because
community outreach.
They trust
needed.
The officer. Yeah. If you know who you're talking with, and the citizens know who they're talking with, they trust them to talk to them.
Right. And I see a lot of people. Are talking. Talking real good about you. Got one guy, Lee Chambers. I've worked for for Chief Jennings as a part-time officer in Jonesville since September, and I can honestly say he's a stand-up guy with no affiliations to the current or prior administrations. It will be a good change for Union County. Ursula Jennings, he's got my vote. I mean, a lot of good things are being said, and we appreciate that. We definitely want to support all of our candidates. We want to support them. Don't mean you necessarily want to vote for them, but we got to support them, because if you start to diminish somebody who's willing to step outside and put themselves in the public eye, and they get crushed by you and other people, how do you ever think somebody else is going to, want to do that? I'm not going to go out there and let them talk to me like that, so.
Well, and they're running for you. And
Exactly.
just because it's, it might not be your affiliation, or it might not be, their views might not be your cup of tea. It doesn't mean to belittle or negate someone just because of that. Give them their fair chance at debate. And like he said earlier, he wants to build and change. I mean, it's even in the Bible. You build it, they will come.
And my question to you, back to you, Carl, is, you said that once you got over Jonesville and you got control and you got your people hired that you were looking for, you said that all of a sudden, your calls dropped, dramatically. And we have a lot of, unfortunately, we have a lot of violence that's happening here in Union. A lot of people, going missing, and now they're starting to turn up. And I just wanted to get your take on that, because that's the one thing that's really got people a little nervous.
What I want to say about that is we in law enforcement, especially the sheriff office, we have to protect our citizens. And one thing that I want to do is I want to establish a community leader in each community: Monarch Mill, Lockhart, Union, Union City, Jonesville. I want to establish community leaders and try to stop this ceasefire and this senseless violence.
Yeah.
And meet on a monthly basis. Try to establish that. I want to work with the Union County Council and try to get something for these youth, because that's where it's starting. These youth have nothing to do in Union. And we need to work together, not just being a sheriff in the sheriff office, but you have to look outside the scope of what you're doing and try to help, because ultimately you're trying to help the citizens of Union. And that's what we need to be doing.
Yeah. I mean, and that's exactly it, because, we're just killing our own. I mean, it's, and sometimes when you go and find out, well, why did this happen? It's so stupid. It's over a bag of weed. It's over $20. It's over. I mean, it is unreal. And then when you start to see some of these mugshots, you're not seeing people with any kind of remorse on their face any longer.
And not taught. It starts from the homes.
Mm-hmm.
And about time we get involved, it's a little too late. But if they have minor criminal records, there's chance for rehabilitation. If it's just something they done with a little bag of weed or something, it's time to rehabilitate these people. Try to get them to be a citizen, a citizen that can be changed to do better.
Let me ask you that, seeing that we're talking about that. That's always a big, and Mike, you step in anytime. I just got rolling off my head right now. But, I watch Live PD like everybody else does, and I'm making backdoor deals with all the sheriffs. I'm like, if you win, I get to do a little ride along, right? Because I think people, if they can see kind of what's going on, first off, it'll give an extra protection to the deputies of recording, but also it could possibly show people kind of what's going on in their town. And when you see it, you hear about it, that's one thing, but when you physically see it, that it really can change people. But my question to you is, like, I see a lot of people on Live PD where they pull these people over and they got a little bag of weed and stuff like that. Most of them typically write them a ticket and move on. Is that the way? I haven't asked any of the other ones that for some reason. Is that how Union also? I mean, I know every situation is different. Of course, if you've got a guy that's simply told you, no, there's nothing in the car, and you have to tear the car apart and you find something, he's going to jail.
No, in Union, if you got anything, you go in jail. They don't do tickets.
They don't.
It's officer discretion. Every offense is jailable.
I got you.
Every offense is jailable. Now, I mean, if you find a bag of weed, you know, some like when I was in Gaffney, sometimes they just take it and crush it. You know, if it's something minute, but usually they go into jail.
You're right.
For simple possession.
Do you? Because a lot of people have a complaint about that. Because honestly, at this point in our world, I think it's time to go ahead and legalize it. I mean, I know a lot of people are for it, a lot of people are against it. They call it a gateway drug, but at some point, I mean, tobacco kills people, you know, like crazy.
A lot.
But
unfortunately, still South Carolina.
Yep.
And it's still illegal.
Yep. That's it. And that's exactly right. And my next question was going to be, is there anything that you can see in the future? Because if you look at some of these people who are getting punished for having weed, man, they are getting crushed. I mean, they're getting hit with some pretty good time, especially if they're a habitual offender. Now, if they're first time, you know, they seem. Do you feel like there's anything that a sheriff can do to start helping some of these people who aren't, you know, obviously distributing and stuff like that? They just happen to have a little, maybe to where they could work with the judges and stuff like that to maybe try to figure out a way to rehab these people, like you said.
Yes, we in Jonesville, what we do, where I haven't seen a lot of agencies, you know, we do, like in lieu of fines and charges, we do community service. Mm. And, you know, sometimes, you know, I would actually like to have a younger gentleman who's been caught with weed or something stand on the corner and say, I got caught with weed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of teaches you.
It does.
Not to do things. You know, it's a humiliation, but yet, you know, humility.
Well, the biggest part of getting a ticket is you having to sit there and people ride by. You know, they're just giving you that look, you know, that's really worse sometimes than the ticket you give.
Well, and then the anticipation on the surprise of how much the ticket's going to be.
Or the surprise of the parents when they find out.
Yeah. Now, I can't say that. That was a good point by Mike. We're starting to get this medical transparency now where, you know, you can actually, and by the end of the year, I think it is, if you're going to have a procedure done, you can actually now call hospitals and find out exactly what it's going to cost. There's no hidden fee. Do you feel like maybe that's something that South Carolina should look at? You know, start having these set tickets, and because I know every situation is different. Again, you know, I've sometimes like a seatbelt ticket. You know, it can go up to how much in it?
Yeah, it's just $25. The state has already set aside set fines for each individual infraction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they already fines set aside.
I got you. Yeah, because you know sometimes, and don't get me wrong, you know, you go and you run your mouth with the cop on the side of the road. You know, you're gonna increase that ticket value. There's no doubt there. We just, you know, I'm just trying to think of things that maybe we could do that would help these youth understand that you're not there.
It needs to be an
bring them down. Yeah.
No, we're not there to bring them down, but there also need to be an accountability. There's some things they're not getting at home. Mm-hmm. First of all, they're not getting at home, and like I said, by the time you come to us, you know,
it's too late.
It's too late.
Yeah.
And if it's minor, you know, there's some rehabilitation that can be done there. You know, as a sheriff, that's what I would, you know, for the younger youth. But we need to start on these youth.
Right.
I mean, absolutely nothing. They have time to do every other thing. And like you said, there's gun violence and, you know, these people coming up missing, you know, everything is being done. They have nothing to do.
Yeah. Speaking about that, I just had an idea. I'm pretty sure it doesn't happen now, but I believe a good idea would be where you're talking about, you know, we got to get them young. And I totally agree. I've said many times on this show, the biggest issue in my belief is kids from single parents. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because you don't have, especially with you're raising a boy, you don't have a male influence to teach them right and wrong. But my idea is maybe they should introduce a program where the police go to schools maybe once a month and let them talk to the kids, learn to respect the police, learn right from wrong, don't touch guns.
It's just not the police, but couple of years ago that I had started, like I was telling Kyle earlier, that I was printing T-shirts and making them, you know, just selling T-shirts, you know, and I had done a COYA, it's Cultivating Our Youth Initiative. and I wanted to do a 501c, and try to get the youth, diversify and try to get youth, to see,
Yeah.
So sorry, I was reading messages. I was listening to y'all, and one of them kind of took me off guard. But I realize now what they were talking about. And yes, guys, if you want to call in. We're gonna let Carl, because there's some things he wants to talk about. We might go over just a little bit, but hopefully not too long. But you can call at 864-441-8815. One of the people watching wants to know the incident that happened. Yeah, Mike sees it. The incident that happened with the policeman, it's been a while back, but the policeman who was caught with misconduct in their vehicle that was caught, with the cam,
The wrong gun in his hand.
and let's just get to it. Just receiving oral favors inside of a county car, also while being recorded, but was never dismissed by our sheriff. Do you see that as something that's a tolerant? I know you don't know the details on it, but let's just say it happened exactly like that.
Okay.
How would you handle that kind of conduct? Do you feel like that is something that's tolerable?
It is not. It is absolutely not tolerable.
That's a good answer. I like it. Quick, simple. That there should be no explanation behind
that. Shows no accountability.
Yeah.
That shows lawlessness. That
That's
shows that you can do it.
That's right.
You know? And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. If there's no accountability, then you're gonna have officers out there being unprofessional.
That's right.
They're gonna be doing things. If you have lawlessness, it's gonna get lawlessness.
And that's when you get the problem.
Yeah.
My thing is, it being recorded, there should be a higher authority that reviews these recordings, like an audit, which they do. Yeah. So why isn't this kicked up to someone else if this is extremely negligent?
Yeah, that's pretty bad, because not only are you
were in the city vehicle not city vehicle, I'm sorry. You're in the vehicle that we pay for, in uniform, on duty, 2 officers.
and possibly on the clock. You know?
Oh, you on the clock if you in the car and dressed up.
And so if you get a call, that's no better than the lady, the EMS lady, who stopped and picked up some sunglasses before she went to the call.
Who says they didn't get a call and didn't go? Or didn't go for 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Exactly. We do have a caller on the line. Let's bring them on. I was going to say, you might need your headset. This is Kyle with the KC Show. Who do we have here?
Hey, how you doing? I'm Mike Walker. I was calling in, for Carl Jennings. I tell you what, man. My family moved to Union County over 30 years ago, and that's when I first met Mr. Jennings. And I tell you what, he's a stand-up young man, and he's a hell of a Jonesville sheriff. I think one of the true things that we're missing, guys, is the leadership in Union County Sheriff's Department had no integrity, at all.
Right.
We need to get some leadership with some integrity, someone that's going to do some serious policing. And there should be accountability for the Sheriff's Department. So don't get it twisted. I really honestly believe that the council or someone should have some sort of accountability. But I'm going to tell you something. Integrity is the key. It's not what you're doing when they're watching. It's what you're doing when they're not watching.
That's it.
Carl Jennings is the type of person that you don't have to watch. His moral compass is going to keep him correct. And I tell you, and from a policing standpoint, when someone is talking about rehabilitation, that's what we need. We need to stop trying to just incarcerate everything. Don't get it twisted. You have to be held accountable for things that you do. And I understand that completely. But as Mike was saying, a lot of these single parents and things that are going on, these kids really don't understand. We need a leader that's going to get into Union County and that's going to open up some programs for these kids, some youth baseball. We got to start doing more.
Right.
In New York City, where I'm from, they had a police athletic league. That police athletic league saved a lot of kids' lives. And that's just my 2 cents. I just wanted to tell you I'm proud of you, Mr. Jennings. You would make a great sheriff for Union County. It would be a new day. It would definitely be a new day. And there would be some integrity in that position. And that word I'm going to stick to. When I think of Carl Jennings, I think of integrity. And that's something that we've lacked in leadership as far as the county sheriff's department. And thank you guys for taking the
Oh, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate that so much. Thank you. Take care. That's a good call. So far, so good.
I think you got your campaign
Carl,
slogan.
how much did you pay for that phone call? Tell me.
I got him a little campaign slogan.
I need to know so that way I know how much to pay.
Integrity.
That's a good call, but he was dead on, definitely dead on. This is Kyle with the KC Show. Do you have a question for Mr. Jennings?
Yes, I do. I've been watching your podcast,
Thank you.
I haven't quite kept up with everything. But I'd like to know if Carl. I do understand he worked for Gaffney City before he went to Jonesville. But does he have, or does he currently have, the lawsuit going on with Gaffney City?
Never.
And then, okay, that's good. And then the other question is, does he currently work with Jonesville, or has he ever been removed off of any cases, or been asked to be stepped down from any cases with any crimes that have been in with the Jonesville police?
I haven't.
Okay. He sorry about that. He says he hasn't. I'm sorry. I had to put the other call on hold. Was that all your questions?
Then the other thing is he what other than Gaffney and the city of Jonesville, is he able to handle, especially with the drug epidemic that they have in Union now, in the department? Can he handle the situation? And then the fourth question, which kind of goes back, has he ever covered for any political figures that are in the city of Jonesville themselves?
Have I ever covered for any political figures?
Yes.
Specify what you mean covered for any political figures.
Kind of look the other way with the city of Jonesville and their situation. Have some things happen with political figures up there, board members, mayor, or whatever, kind of just overlook the situation?
Not since I've been affiliated with Jonesville.
Fair enough. And with Union and with the current drug epidemic and the size and the budget, have you ever worked with a department that size? And what are your, shall we say, contacts with SLED? And how fully involved are you with SLED itself if there is a big murder investigation, especially with the missing persons and I don't want to get anything started with this, but with the Ashmore girl that has with that ongoing investigation that did happen up, I believe, in Jonesville.
Yes, that was outside of my jurisdiction.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was in the county. And yes, I do have affiliation with SLED, and we have used them several times to come in for my resources, for my limited resources in Jonesville. We use SLED to help out with investigations. Also,
I understand what those things. Yes, but can you? I mean, and of course, Union is not a New York City, not a Los Angeles.
correct.
But with the budget and the personnel that they have there, now I'm going to, of course, I know what the answer is going to be, but do you think you can handle a department of that size, with your experience of law enforcement that you've already have?
Yes.
Working with the city of Gaffney and with Jonesville.
Yes, of course. I'm confident I can handle that.
Oh, good answer there. Now, with all current staff, of course, any place, they do work to the pleasure of the sheriff. With the current staff that they have there, do you plan on getting any more, or any staff, trying to enlarge the staff as big as possible?
I'm trying to. I want to see officers trained in specific fields, and I do want to see more officers on the road.
Well, which is all fine and good, officers on the road, because I mean, I know as well as you do, crimes happen before the police get there. The police is just an afterthought, and I don't mean that bad. I'm not bashing the police in any way, shape, or form, but the police are called after, of course, a robbery, after a CDV or whatever.
Correct.
And because they can't be everywhere at once, and I'm fully aware of that.
Yes, sir.
But with the investigations, I mean, in today's world, more serious stuff is going on than ever before, missing persons and everything. But I mean, what resources, what training can you provide? Union has had some good officers in the past.
Correct.
And but yet they have moved on to other departments. Don't know if there's been a personal issue with past sheriffs or whatever, But how are we going to keep and how are you going to get qualified individuals that do know the streets and do know, I will say, the good old boy system? Not, and there again, I'm not throwing off on that as well. But how do you handle? How can you get somebody in and bring them up to speed so fast?
Okay, and we're going to let that one be the last because we got so many calls. Thank you for all those questions, brother. Thank you so much. All right, go ahead. You go ahead and answer that last question.
Training and bringing in individuals that can do the task at hand.
Yep. Okay, and we got another caller here. This is Kyle with the KC Show. Go ahead. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey. Hi, Kyle. It's Sandy.
Hey, how you doing?
I just wanted to ask. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Hey, Mike.
Nobody's worried about Mike. Nobody's worried about Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Sorry. Carl, I just wanted to ask you, Mr. Jennings, I'm sorry. I wanted to ask you, a lot of our youth don't have father figures, and they're getting in a lot of trouble because they don't have anybody to give them the right direction. I asked on the thing that I don't think it was saying, how do you feel about a big brother, big sister program that involves police officers?
That is one of the things that I'm totally for, and I do believe that we need to work with the county council and try to establish that and involve the police in the process.
Well, we have so many that are just on the borderline of really going to big boy jail.
Yes, and that's something we want to prevent. We want to try to prevent that.
Just a preemptive strike to keep them out of prison. A lot of our children are going to jail. They're going to prison. They don't have their mothers work to support them. There's that, and then they don't have the father figures in their life that they need to give them the direction.
And that's the big issue right there.
And especially the children that are so much on the verge right now of really, there's so much really the truancy and the drugs is so prevalent. Even pot. I mean, they're children. They shouldn't be smoking pot.
Right.
They don't have any idea how to live any life other than what they're living.
Exactly.
So, that's why I was saying something where the police can show them different, that things can be different.
Yes, that's totally. I totally agree with you, and that's something that I want to, like I said before, talk with the county council and try to establish something for our youth.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for
Thank you,
answering my
darling.
question.
Thank you.
Have a nice night.
Thank you. This is Kyle with the KC Show. Go ahead. Hello. Do we have anybody here? Looks like we don't.
Sorry, he's getting a call. One of the questions I asked earlier about whether you were, it kind of made the statement about worrying about if you had any cases dropped or any issues with, anything in your past. And I feel like, there'd be different reasons why you maybe took off a case, conflict of interest.
Everything's
I thought about that, and I was like, I don't see why there's any issue.
Well, this is one thing that I do know. In Jonesville, the most we have is 4 officers. Right now we have 3. And if it's a case that's going to require manpower and resources that we cannot facilitate, I'm going outside.
Right.
I'm going outside. I'm going to ask the sheriff office to take it up.
Right.
Because they have a bigger manpower.
Right.
They have the resources.
Well, that's
We
just,
don't.
that's smart.
Because that's smart policing because you want to make sure it gets, get the right person called. You want to get it done as quick as possible. And sometimes say, your resources aren't available to that ability. I mean, just like when the sheriff has something major that happens, what does he usually do? He probably calls SLED.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then if SLED, it keeps trickling until you get to the last person. But we do have another caller on hold. This is Kyle. Go ahead.
Hi, Kyle. I got to state my name or?
No, not at all. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm going to state it either way if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My name's Tabitha Campbell. I have a question for Mr. Carl Jennings. Just a question. It's about the walls and all. It has been bothering me for a while, and I have not got a answer about it. I don't know if you could be the right one to answer it for me.
About what now? I couldn't hear it. What was it about
she
again?
ain't asked it yet. I don't know what.
It's about a wall, okay? My question is for Mr. Carl Jennings is, if somebody's got a trespassing up on you, whether it's a person or a town or something, don't you have to have that in paperwork?
Not necessarily. You don't. You can have it verbally, the officer telling you that you're on trespass. You don't necessarily have to have it in paperwork.
All righty. And one more. What is your best interest for the city of Union, the town of Union, and the county of Union? For us, we the people. What is your best interest? What are you offering to us?
I'm offering, a better sheriff office. I'm trying to offer the citizens. I just want to make sure the citizens are protected. I want what everybody else want. I want to see, a better sheriff office. I want to see Union not being the butt of other jokes.
Well, all right. Well, thank you, Tabitha. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Just saying, will you listen to We the People if we have a question?
Yes.
At any time of the day, 24/7?
Yes, that's what we're here for. We're working for you.
All right. I do appreciate it, and you have a blessed evening.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all.
All right, they're coming in hot, so we're going to go quicker a little bit. And
one question.
And let's limit it to one question. And I'm gonna do this because I kind of see some of these things and where it's headed with some of these calls. If you're calling about legal advice, like what a cop can do and stuff like that, not the show for this. We're worried about what his plan is as a candidate for the sheriff's office. If you want to call and ask a question like that about trespass stuff, listen, I thank you for answering it for us, but that's something probably more that you need to call the office that's handling the situation. That's who you need to talk to about that. We need to talk about Carl Jennings and what Carl Jennings is going to do for our town.
Yeah, no ongoing litigation.
Cannot do that. So I will warn if anybody tries to talk about any kind of ongoing case, I will hang up immediately because we are not
and if it
about to get hit with no.
And if it keeps coming like that, eventually we'll just get a call screener.
Yeah, so we'll make it work. Gator is on fire. He will not let up. Gator, we'll get with you, brother. This is Kyle with the KC Show. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey, all right about you.
All right. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
All right. This is Jared from Kelton Community.
What's up, my friend? How you doing?
Nothing much.
Thanks for calling again.
Yeah, always. I like what Carl said earlier about having the deputies out in the community and looking for community leaders in every county, and also setting up meetings. He hit it dead on the spot because the citizens of Kelton, the older citizens, 60, 70, 80 years old, they tell me, and we tried to work with the two previous administrations, they say, Jared, we don't see the police officers until every 4 years till election time. That's when they see the sheriff either come in town or something like that. So I want to commend Carl on what he want to set up in his administration. But I have one question. How do you feel about town halls meeting every quarter? I realize that you can't make it to all meetings, but you can set up where your deputies can be at the rural county areas every 3 months. What you think about? What's your take on that?
I think it's a good idea. We need to be out in the public. We need to be out in the public hearing the concerns, and that's definitely something that can be done.
All right.
All right.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll get you on soon too.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready. All right.
I'm ready too, brother. Thank you, man.
Talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Bye bye. So, all right, we'll got a few more minutes. We'll try we'll try to take a few more.
That'd be a good to initiate that community outreach, because like we were saying during the other show, you know, there's so many places that police do not go unless they're called.
Yeah.
You know,
it just, I mean,
people don't understand how big this county is.
Yes, you need to not just be in Union. You know, you need to, it's local. It's business owners outside the county that need to know. They need to be checked on.
It's a long time. It's a long way, and we appreciate everybody's call. We're going to go to the next one real quick. She's been on hold for a good little bit. Thank you for holding. This is Kyle
and Mike.
Nobody cares.
Hey, how are y'all?
All right, about you?
I was just calling. I've been a recovering addict myself. I was just kind of wondering what Carl Jennings' plan was against the drug battle in our county. Honestly, I think that's got a lot to do with a lot of our problems. Recently, my door actually got kicked in, and they stole all my kids' Christmas presents covered some drugs.
Oh man,
they were just looking for money and things. And with my kids living here in this county, it's kind of worrying me. They're young kids. You know, there's a lot of bad things going on out here, and the county has been got so hard drug ridden. I was kind of wondering what his plan and thought was.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that in Jonesville, I had an officer that was good in doing interdiction and drugs, and he was very, very active in that, and we did good with that. But you know, we can't, for a liability standpoint, he might be a good officer, but he has to be the type of officer that I need for Jonesville. So I had to release him. And what I would do in Union County is also bring in the people that can do the drug activity, that can go out and you know, put a dent in it. And that's what I would do as a sheriff. I would actually make that a priority.
So that would be at the top of your list.
That would be one of the things at the top of my list. Another thing,
I really appreciate that. That helps me a little bit.
Well, thank you, darling. We appreciate that question. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. But, I mean, drugs is kind of where it starts. And now we do have an open line. You know, if somebody wants to call, we're going to take calls for probably about maybe 8 to 10 more minutes. We'll try to get as many calls as we can. And then we're going to let Carl talk about the few things while he's got an opportunity. We're going to let him talk about, there's some things I know he's wanting to talk about. And then we'll wrap it up. But we definitely want more questions. This is exactly what we need. This is why we want the public debate, because it's hard to, guys, y'all have no idea. It's hard to slam this into an hour, but we understand that going over an hour a lot of times is tough. And, you know, we're trying our best to get that. But here's the guy that has been blowing it up, but we're going to get him now. What's up, man? This is Kyle with the KC Show. Go ahead.
Yes, so I got a question about, I posted on earlier, but I know the present sheriff we got refuses to run radar. He'd much rather focus on the drugs than he has radar. But and I was wondering if he was willing or interested in putting radar back in the officers and getting them certified. Because I've had people pass me on Whitmire Highway 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, their school zone, pass me around 80, 90 miles an hour or better. And, but like I said, I was just wondering what his opinion on it was, and I'll step off.
Okay. Right. Thank you. Appreciate it, Gator.
Okay. This is one of the things that I've been toying with, is that if I was elected sheriff, I wanted to bring in a traffic unit with the sheriff office.
Yeah. Well, like I say, the one question that somebody was, they finally just wanted to text it. They asked to want to put more people on the road, and it's kind of answering its own question, but not having the manpower or the money. How do you plan on handling that situation?
Well, that's the thing. If I have a traffic unit, you know, we have 4,000 more people coming into Union that are not residents in Union.
Right.
they're coming into Union to work. Now, if we had a traffic unit that will be on the outskirts or anywhere in the county that, regular officers or the highway patrol, since we limited to one highway patrol, they can pick up that and bring in more revenue, that way.
Right.
And this is not residents of Union, South Carolina. You have so many people traveling 176 going through to and from. And a traffic unit would be ideal to have more officers on the road for one. And then we'd be able to see a budget to where we can actually pay for those officers.
Yeah. I'm going to address this one. I'm going to put the camera, well, it's already on me, but, sorry. But, I don't know if this person was trying to mean this. I'm going to, read this off in the chat, and I'm going to come back with you with something here. They said that, meaning Mr. Carl here, this man has given me so many freaking tickets. That means that this guy's out here doing his job. And let me tell you something. Nobody hates getting a ticket more than I do. But let me ask you something. When you're going through Jonesville, what is the first thing you say to, like, if you're riding with somebody?
Slow down.
You better slow down. And ain't that the point?
Man,
Well, that was my, every law enforcement officer has a niche. And mine was traffic. I was the 38th TSO in South Carolina, traffic safety officer. And I went to 6 weeks traffic school. Sometimes it's more school than the highway patrol. But that was my niche. Yeah. I was a traffic guy, and that's what I done. And if I came to Jonesville and
that's not, you should not be, you should puff your chest up. Hey, that's right. Because that's the first thing. Like if me and Pat, if I got to ride through Jonesville to do something, God, this is going to sound bad, but that's one place where I know for a fact to make sure that I do the exact speed limit. And that's not bullying. That is serious.
I lived in Jonesville for I think 6 years before we moved into the house we're at now, and I never got a ticket, because I obeyed the law.
Yeah. Well, we have one. We'll make this one our last one. We got another call. This is Kyle with the KC Show. Go ahead.
Hey, Kyle, what's up, man? It's Bear, man.
What's up, man?
I got one question for Carl. You know who this is?
Yes, sir.
I know he knows what to do. My thing is, how would he do it and get it done without following to the same program that's been going on in Union County in the sheriff office and the crowd?
Yeah, it's a good question. So basically,
I believe in him. My dad was his inspiration. My dad was Tom Jeter. He was a deputy. And if he was still living, I know for a fact he would run for sheriff. But it's been a good old boy system, and it's time for the good old boy system to change.
Well,
that's all that goes on in Union County.
Well, I'm not a part of a good old boy system. I don't know. I know
you're not, Carl. You had that conversation, man.
Right.
But you got to prove this to these people of Union County. It's not people like me that you got to prove it to. It's the people that have the big doubts of, are you going to do the same thing that's been going on over and over and over and over? You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not going to happen.
I get that.
I believe you ain't got to prove that to me, bro.
Right.
You got to tell these people that are listening and watching because they don't believe it. They all they see is, well, you just coming up, you want to do the same old thing. You gonna tell me this, you gonna tell me that, but once you get in there, it's back to the same old basics.
Right. That's what they got to do. They got to sell. You got to sell yourself.
Well,
Well, sell yourself in a good way.
Yeah.
And you know what? Hey, I'll campaign with you, brother. You come and get me, I'm down for you.
Hey, there you go.
All right.
Well,
hey, these guys, these deputies up there, I know all of them. They know me. They on the same program. They might say, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They're not.
Yeah.
If they were, it would have been changed a long time
ago.
It
should have been changed. Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right.
I believe in Taylor, but he fell in that same old good old boy system.
Yeah.
He just did it his way.
Yeah. That's it. Well, thank you, brother.
I got kids, man. I want my kids to come up and believe in somebody. I got a son, a daughter. They want to be positive role models.
Exactly. And I'm willing to bet you if I'm in that sheriff's seat, you will have a positive role model in those ranks.
Well, that's a good answer.
Do what you got to do, brother, and prove it. That's all I ask of you. Show them, then tell them. That's
Gotcha.
all you got to do, man.
Thank you, man.
All right,
Appreciate
man. Y'all have a
it.
good
You
night,
too.
man.
You too.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate
Appreciate
it,
it.
Thanks.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
I think that would have been tell them then show 'em.
Well, I can say this, and this is the part where I'm gonna kind of let Carl kind of do his thing if he wants to. If he's done, he's done. This is not scripted, guys.
No.
This is what an unscripted interview looks like. You're going to I'm back here
And that's
making
the best
faces
kind.
with some calls because some calls are a little like, come on, and Carl's gonna make them, Mike's gonna make them, you would make them if you're sitting here. It's that's what unscripted is. I don't care for screening calls just for the simple fact of I don't want anybody to say, well, you know what, I called the KC show and he wouldn't let me through. He asked what my question was, and then when he found out, he hung it up. I don't want that. So I'm gonna let the call through as long as they're not rude or inappropriate. We'll let that be. But I will tell you this, and like I say, if Carl wants to expand on this, he can. I know for a fact that Carl is not a part of any kind of good old boy system. I know for a fact. And if I'm telling you, it's a fact. It's not an opinion. It is a absolute fact. Now, if he wants to comment further on that, he can. That I'm going to leave that up to him. But he has already proven to me that is not the case, and it won't be the case. And I promise you, that's not the case. And I wish I could tell you, but like I say, that'll be something I leave with Carl. And if he decides to expand on that a little bit, that's up to him. If not, I understand that too because of what it's about. So, but Carl, I know there was probably some things that you wanted to talk about, whatever you want to say. We'll leave it here with you, brother.
Okay, this is one thing that I want to bring up. In 2018, April of 2018, I was looking and reading. I read the Associated Press. Out of 46 counties in South Carolina, Union was voted number 10 as the most unlivable place. This was disheartening. I wrote a post on my Facebook page, number 10. Now, that goes to tell me when people look at Union County, they see the school situation and they look at the crime. And 2018, if you're looking at the crime and you're looking at your administrations that has come through, and for, like I said earlier, 27 years, it's been a corruption or scandal. So that's one of the reasons. That's one of the basic reasons that Union County was voted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's disheartening to me. I'm a Union County citizen. I was born and raised here. My mother, she worked at the schools all the way through till we left. She retired from the school system. My daddy was a business owner, and he worked on cars all his life. And, I had my parents. And I want to extend that to every other youth because if you start them early, they make a productive citizen of Union County. Yeah. If they have nothing, and then they're going to get what they're going to look for it in other places, and sometimes it's going to be the wrong places.
Yeah. And, that being said, there is a good chance that Union County, like I said, by the end of next year, I've talked about this. I brought this up. There is a good chance that there is a high chance that at the end of this year, we have a completely different town. We know we're going to have a completely different town based on two of the most prominent positions in here, and that's superintendent and that's sheriff, because we still have that ability to do so. But now we're also going to have a chance of where possibly 80% of people who are running on this ballot to be reelected is probably not going to be back. I mean, 80% because of the job that they're doing. And that's what disturbs me so much when I bring up the Joe Nichols situation, when I bring that up, because that's a position we can't touch that we used to be able to. We're tired of it. Now we've got to vote for some people and hope that they do the right thing instead of us as the people knowing that we'll do the right thing and change this out. And this is what we need. We need change. And I believe Carl would bring a lot of change to this town. It was a lot of good questions. He'd also, he'd be the first.
He'd be the first black sheriff of Union. You know, I mean, that's a milestone.
It's a great milestone. You know, but if
you got to say what it is, what it is. You know,
and I tell you,
it's great.
A lot of people like that. They don't like, man, I don't care about that. You know, they're here to, you know what I mean. But it is.
But it's a milestone. I mean, and not to say this, but the good old boy system people want people to get away from. I mean, maybe that's part of it. You know, but.
I think he's saying that if he would read that shirt, that quote that I done,
I'll definitely read it.
And it will explain a lot, and it's going on to current situations.
Yeah, it says I'll read this out. I meant to do it earlier.
Hey, you want me to put one up so you can put the camera on?
Go ahead. Yeah, it'll be fine. It says I am ridiculed by the masses for the actions of one. I will rise beyond the attack of my character because I too bleed. I am proud and I am firm. With honor, I will forever stand against the evil that men do and protect the innocent from all harm, foreign and domestic. I will continue to defend this line with integrity because the blood bleed is blue. And that is a great saying. That is what we're going through right now. It's exactly what we're going through right now. And, you know, I like that. And hopefully, you know,
Mike, I got you a shirt too.
We'll get you some change, you know, in this town. And I appreciate all the people that sit here and they give us an opportunity to talk to our potential leaders. I mean, you're already a community leader now, but y'all give us the opportunity. You come on and it takes a lot. People don't understand that. When we take a phone call, when we take a question, that everything is pretty much on the table because we're here to make change. And a lot of times change is tough. I mean, it makes you, it can make you cringe. It can make you hurt. It can make you sad. It makes you happy. I mean, but the biggest thing is that what you get here is 100% just unadulterated truth that it comes with.
And what I want to say is that I want to thank the citizens for allowing or being here on your show while I'm here, because in all, I'm for the citizens. I am. If you get to know me, you get to know me. But as knowing me for my job, you're going to get to know the real me, because I have a job to do. And sometimes you're on the receiving end of that job. Yeah. But I am for the citizens of Union.
Well, one question, and then we'll call it a night. One person asked, where does he stand on the Second Amendment, which I think is a heck of a question. Where do you stand on as far as
right to bear arms?
Right to bear arms.
I stand firmly on that.
So if at any time you feel like government's trying to
infringe on our Second Amendment, I'm gonna fight it tooth and nail.
There you go. That's a good question. A lot of support again.
Yeah, I don't think people need that. That's a question that
is.
Well, you'll be amazed.
I mean,
what's your view on socialism?
Oh no, because
like that other city, you know,
like in Florence, the mayor, you know, is chanting socialism. So you don't know what to expect, but that's a question that's going to be asked over and over, and I believe that should be an answer that all the sheriffs kind of come together and agree with on that. You know, the right to bear arms should never be in question. Right. I mean,
it should be just
tyranny.
Leave us Second Amendment.
That's it. It's tyranny on the other side of that. Yes. You know, you take away someone's right to bear arms.
Oh yeah.
You know, a criminal's going to get a gun.
Yeah, you just taking it away from.
Yeah, regardless.
You're taking it away from the law-abiding citizens.
That's it.
But you're talking about these people that you was thanking them for being on here while you was on here and stuff. You know, that also I didn't get to chime in while y'all was talking about it, but that also shows something else. It shows the dedication of the Union County citizens and how they want to change this time. They're tired of being lied to. They're tired of being robbed, not literally but figuratively. They're tired. I mean, it's time for a change. It's time for somebody who is actually one of the people to be in office for the people.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you the only way you're going to change a town is change your vote. I mean, that's the only way it's going to do it. Carl, I think this is great. I'll go ahead and ask you. I'll put you on the spot. 2 questions actually. I'll go ahead and put you.
I
on
know
the spot.
one
Let
of them.
Let me put the camera.
A bit.
You willing to come out to the public debate if we schedule one up?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. It'll probably be at the Elks Lodge. We'll discuss that. I do have an unfortunate meeting that I had to have with Patty at an altar or something like that, and once we bypass that, we're good. The other one, will I be able to get a KC show ride along?
Sure.
We were actually promised that by Taylor.
Yeah, by Taylor.
Now it's a zero policy.
Yeah, now he won't even speak to us.
Yeah, which is I mean, shows guilt. To me, shows guilt. But I mean that's neither here nor there. I appreciate you, Carl, coming on, and we're definitely going to have you back. We're going to try to get everybody in early and then have them as it gets closer to make sure everybody gets a fair opportunity, because your outlook right now is I'm not on a lot of things, but your outlook right now is probably going to be a lot different on, you're going to hear about more issues and stuff, and you're going to be able to come and address this later on. And I would like to be able to take the first interview and put it next to the second one, and people are going to see, because the thing that I'm looking for is a sheriff that's willing to listen. That's my thing. I am so tired of a sheriff going in there and pulling up his strap in my face. I know what I'm doing. We don't need that. We understand you know how to police.
People are human.
You are in a public arena. You have to, this is almost like customer service.
Yeah.
You have to listen to the citizens.
That's it.
And if you don't listen to the citizens, what's going to happen? They're going to go back, well, they did, and word of mouth goes on, and people start the distrust. People going to start the rumors, don't start the doubt. Yep. And then you can't get anything accomplished.
That's it. That's exactly right. Right. I mean, and like I say, you have the experience that's clearly behind you. I mean, and I wish you the best of luck. I can't wait to have you back in here, and I'll definitely be in touch with you once we get the debate scheduled, and we'll have everybody in there and try to make it as informative as we can, because that's what people are thirsting for, man. They're thirsting to get more closer to people. That's why Twitter is so big. That's why, things like that, because they feel like they're getting closer to these celebrities.
They're trying to understand it too, as well,
And could, I believe that a sheriff should also, and I swear we're going, should be able to use social media to his advantage. Like there's a sheriff in North Carolina I've gotten a chance to talk with, and once a week he'll post around about 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, a notice of, you want to come over here? Okay. They post a notice about, hey, lock your doors. Yeah, sorry. She screwed me up.
You're exactly right. Yeah. The sheriffs need to be, informative to the public. Yeah. He does. You're exactly right. I mean, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
I mean, he was elected by the people. So he should be community.
And
it's common sense.
Well, he might not be technology savvy, but that could be a real advantage to the next sheriff, to keep them in tune and in touch. Like that, exactly. Like even like the whole situation, you said it was out of your jurisdiction. If they could have simply just had a small update about the Ashmore situation that took over this town for a while. If they could have just simply said, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any further information about this, please let us know, but we are still ongoing and we are not giving, something like that to reassure the public that they are still on it.
But one thing that I do want to mention with that situation, even if, something happened outside the jurisdiction of Jonesville, we wouldn't be able to know, because the capability of the radio situation up there in Jonesville, we was kind of snubbed on the 800 situation.
Yeah.
We before I even came to Jonesville, they were sharing a 400 channel.
Right.
With Jonesville in the sheriff office. Once we went to 800, I was banned from the sheriff's channel.
Wow.
So that became an officer problem, officer safety issue.
Yeah.
Because if something was happening,
right,
and I couldn't, if an officer, just like the situation where the officer shot and killed the gentleman, I think she was by herself.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, if we could have helped, we would have knew. If we were informed, we could have helped. But we have no way of knowing if an officer is getting his
Right.
butt handed to
That's
him.
right.
We don't know. So that's one of the things. If Sheriff, I want to open up all lines of communication. Everybody need to work together. I want to have a camaraderie with Union Public
Right.
Safety. I want to have a camaraderie with Jonesville.
Right.
You know, I want to. The task force is fine, but I don't want people coming into Union to our citizens and having questionable practices and then just leaving, not being held accountable for whatever's going on.
Right.
So I want to also reach out to the closest allies of Cherokee County or Spartanburg County and try to reestablish a good working relationship with them.
Right.
You know, but I want to protect the citizens.
Yeah, that radio situation. I mean, that you think about it, that's just putting deputy in, like you just said, more more danger.
You know, unfortunately, I have no say so of it.
Yeah.
You know, but
you can have an opinion.
Yeah.
That's
As
far as it would go.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, I don't think
But
anybody, I have not seen anybody who says they're for these new radios.
But irregardless,
Taylor.
I worry about those officers.
That's it.
You know, if they coming through and I see lights and sirens blazing through Jonesville,
Yeah.
I have no idea
No clue what's going on.
And I could help.
Yeah. You sure
Yeah,
could.
and talking about, you know, that situation there, I just kind of thought about this. I wonder why. Okay, so, you know, you talking about seeing them go through Jonesville, you know, and you can't hear them. Why is Jonesville the only one that has a little police force present? You know, I would think we would need to establish one like in Lockhart, Chester, Carlisle. I mean, not Chester. I'm sorry.
I mean, well,
Carlisle.
Lockhart, I don't think never had a charter. I don't know. I can't say that.
Right.
But I know Carlisle's did have a charter.
I know it'd be. I don't know if it's practical or if you could do it if elected sheriff. I don't know. Maybe it's something I can look up, but maybe establish an office where you have some of your deputies.
Well, they do have substations. Sheriff office already has substations in Carlisle's.
Right.
I don't know about Lockhart, but I know they do have substations, and I have offered to have a substation and officers be up there in Jonesville. You know,
because I mean, there's Lockhart, there's Putman, there's so many areas out here that could use it.
Well, cooperation. I mean,
and with more officers though, with more officers and them being, you know, kind of zoned.
Yeah.
They will be in these areas.
Yeah.
You know, they will be in these areas, and a lot of more people will see them in these outer areas.
And I can say this: when Taylor first took office, he was a ball of fire. You seen him in the paper every other day, busting these meth labs and all that. He was on fire, but there was a competition between him and the city of like who's getting. I mean, I would see it. I was personally a part of it. I can tell you this, and it's like they're treating it like a game, and it's not. I don't care who busts this person who just robbed me. Just go get them.
It's the camaraderie.
That's
what
it.
we need. We need to be unified.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's the change that we need. And he's, I don't know what other to compare it to. It's so wrong, in my opinion, to compare it to this, but it's the only thing I can too. Policing and having your sheriffs and stuff, it's almost a lot like football. You have a lot of these old style coaches. And when these new styles come in, they start blowing out the old ones because the new style is taking over and it's better. And that's the same way. It's sometimes old thinking, you know, like a sheriff. And I'm, you know, not necessarily saying it's him, but, you know, you got to get some fresh minds in here. We cannot have the same sheriff for 2 freaking decades and think that anything's going to change. If anything, it's going to get a little worse. It's going to get a little worse. Unless you're Chuck Wright, because he just seems to be like the definition of what a sheriff is.
That
and
is
also,
the Yosemite Sam.
And also, there is a very good possibility. I got word today that I'm gonna give him a call, and we're possibly gonna have him give us a call, talk. You know, maybe give some advice to these people that's running because, you know, he's a great sheriff.
Let me tell you a funny story about Chuck Wright.
Here we go.
We had an IPA shooting competition. And he's a Burns Rebels, diehard Burns Rebel fan. Burns Rebel. When I worked for Gaffney City, I went and took folders and cut them and put them. He had Rebel stickers everywhere on there, and I put Gaffney Indian on all the stickers.
He got him, didn't
He didn't like it.
he? He didn't like it?
Hey, one last thing before you sign off. Are you going to keep up the trend and grow Yosemite
The
Sam
mustache. The mustache.
like Taylor and all? Yeah.
I don't think I can grow one of those.
I tell you, it's just like every sheriff
Yeah, and
grows
eventually-
the perfect one.
I think the office makes it grow for you. That's
Stress can
it's
grow
like
hair.
Tim Allen, Santa Claus.
and a lot of Dapper Dan.
Yeah, a lot of the curl it up.
Curl it up.
Yeah.
Carl, I appreciate it, man.
Thank you,
I
sir.
think you did great tonight. I can't wait to have you back on. You're a stand-up guy. I can say that for 1,000% fact. If anybody needs to question why you come see me, I'll tell you, because that's what we need. And I appreciate you so much being on. It takes a lot of guts to come on something like this and be able to take a phone call, because you do work with the public and you work with the best parts, but also the most worst parts of the public, so it takes a lot of guts, because like I say, you never know what that call is going to be. Oh, you did that. We're not worried about that. If somebody calls in and says, oh, he did this, he did that. Hey, sounds good to me. Sounds like he's out there doing his job. I'm tired of hearing about the ones that are taking a pizza and something else and not doing their job. So we finally need somebody who's getting the right complaints in my world. So guys, thank y'all so much for all the questions. Yes,
Thank y'all for having me.
Carl, best of luck to you. I think you're going to do great, man.
Yeah, good luck on the campaign
I will
trail.
definitely get in touch with you. Man, there's so many more questions. We hung up on all the. I don't know why we just come to my head. I meant to ask all the other ones, and I'm going to, because that is a big question.
yeah.
Because people are bringing that to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's all people want to talk about right now, and I guess I get it to a point, but
Yeah, because we're in the system down in legislation, they trying to do the medicinal marijuana,
Right.
And that's like, if that comes in, then not too long after, they're gonna try to legalize it. So
Yeah.
they're trying to push that forward.
Yeah.
So that's the thing on the big weed issue.
Well, can I ask you? I mean, and you don't. I don't see why you can't. But do you see that drug as? Have you ever seen definite proof of where that you arrested somebody when they were 18 over weed, and then 5 years later you're getting them for meth? Have you ever run into that where it was a gateway?
Personally, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't arrested anyone that had marijuana and then had to arrest them for
Right. Kind of gateway
worse
into
drug.
it. Right.
I haven't.
Yeah. Ralph Norman made that statement, and I really wanted to
Well, I mean,
talk to him about that when we were at
usually,
Midway.
especially in Gaffney, where we had a lot of traffic for 85, and stuff. It usually been marijuana. If it was marijuana, that's what it was.
But they have no factual basis that marijuana was the first drug that they did, so how can it be the gateway?
I mean, it is an herb at some point.
It could be.
it's-
Maybe they started smoking cigarettes before they started.
I mean, and we're not condoning, because drugs are bad. If they're illegal, don't do it. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it makes you feel like. Don't do it. But I'm telling you right now, at this point, anything's better than the freaking opioids. That is what's really bringing people down. Did you see? Let me ask you that. I'm sorry. I know I keep saying we're going. Did you see that video on Asheville Highway where that girl butt naked come into an Enmark gas station, stole some sandals?
I haven't.
And took off. I mean, clearly you can tell that's not weed. That is some serious drug, and that's the problem.
What'd she do?
Just walked in naked and grabbed them sandals, put them on, and took off. This was Asheville gas station, Asheville Highway.
I haven't seen it.
And that's what these drugs are doing to people, I'd much rather you come up in there, it stinks. God, it stinks so bad, but I'd rather see that than have something like that come running by me, because man, but Carl, thank you so much. We went about 30 over, but I appreciate it so much. A lot of people are chatting. I want to keep going so much, but it's getting late. And best of luck to you. I think you're going to do great, Carl. I really do. I think you're a great guy. Can't wait to have you for the debate, and can't wait to have anytime you want to come back. You're more than welcome. And maybe we can get like a little miniature one. Maybe we can get him and Tom here. Keep you in the limelight spotlight to keep.
We can
talking.
do a mock debate. And I'll be his predecessor.
How are you going to do it by? How are you going to do it by doing this the whole
That's how
time?
I'm going to distract off my answer.
It's like, God. You hear that? I mean, it's like
No,
oh
the
my
people
gracious.
don't hear it. Take your
We do.
Take your headphones off.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carl. Guys, y'all been great. Thank you again. I wanted to, if you called and I didn't get your question, I'm sorry. I promise you, I'll if you send them to me, I will get them asked to him, and maybe we can get a response, and maybe he can post a video on his page reading these questions, because he's going to be involved with y'all more and more, especially now that the campaign's taking off. Good luck to him and all the other ones. I can't wait. I think it's going to be a great. Just think about this, guys. Look at all the options that Union County's got. That's what we need. Options, and we're going to find the best one. And I tell you what, so far, so good. We got a lot of great candidates for sheriff. And, man, thank God. Thank God.
They still ain't all came out
No,
yet,
but I think we got a good selection right now.
Yeah.
And thank God, So, guys, thank you. Hope to see y'all again Thursday night at 7.
Yep.
Could possibly have another candidate by that date. We'll see. Guys, y'all wish me luck. A lot of bad coming my way. So I just want everybody to, Patty, do you want to come address that?
No, I'd rather not be on camera when I do that.
Okay. Well, see, I got a copy.
Wow, the cop did it. Yeah,
Oh man, he's on leave right now. Oh no, I'm in trouble. So guys, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
They ain't got little seizures. They got Bojangles.
No, that's not the. All right, guys, y'all take care.
Bye.
This has been The KC Show. Thanks for listening, and catch you next time.